It's oh my god. Facebook is sending me these schizophrenia research motherfucking goddamn posts as suggested posts. I mean, maybe somebody suggested shit. I don't know what the fuck it is. But do you know what schizophrenia looks like? It doesn't look anything like this. Schizophrenia doesn't look anything like this. By no stretch of the imagination does schizophrenia look like this. Go to a mental hospital or go fucking goddamn Google, images. Go downtown and see what schizophrenia looks like. There is no coherence in schizophrenia. There is no, maybe they think that I'm a good fucking schizophrenic researcher or something. I don't know. Maybe I should look at schizophrenia as from some research aspect. And that's my problem with the fucking goddamn Western psychological fucking industry, period. Is that it likes to label individuals in order to motherfucking make them less of a threat than they were. That's what they did with, They did it with Elijah Muhammad. They hospitalized him. They did it with Clarence. They hospitalized him. They did it with Wallace Farhad Muhammad. They did it with him. They hospitalized him and tried to categorize them as being crazy. It was because it's easier to this guy is crazy than to accept the fact that there's some validity. Now, I've had conversations with cops who committed me. Like, hey, bro, I'm more rational than you are. See the conversation that we're having? My conversation is far more rational than the conversation you are having. I said I was God, and therefore, because I said I was God, you're deciding that it's time to fucking hospitalize me. Okay. If I can rationalize that I have the right to have a religious belief according to the First Amendment, and that, of course, according to the First Amendment, that I can consider myself God. If you can consider yourself a servant of God or speaking to some invisible person, why can I consider myself the visible person I'm speaking to? I'm the only God of my life. Okay, so therefore, the cop is like, oh yeah, I see you're more rational than I am. So then you get to the hospital, right? And so then I'm like, okay, why am I here? Every single time I get committed, it's like, why am I here? Well, you're speaking fast. Wait a minute, I'm speaking fast? Yeah, you're speaking a little fast. Well, how is speaking fast an indicate? How do you know that I don't speak fast regularly? This is the first time we ever met. That's a parataxic distortion. That's a fucking, that's a psychosis that you're experiencing, not me. You're acting as if we've had a prior conversation, and you can't point out how irrational my conversation is. You can only point out how fast I'm speaking. Wait a minute. You're pointing out how fast I'm speaking, and where is that? Where in the DMHS is that motherfucking, or the DHMS? Yeah, the DMS. How do you pronounce that? DHMS. Where is that? Huh? DMHS. Okay, dyslexia. Now you can say I'm dyslexic, my nigga. But because where does it say it in the Department of Mental Health Services? You know what I'm saying? Any of them. That speaking fast is a sign or a symptom of schizophrenia. I never heard that shit. That's why I had to start really getting into motherfucking schizophrenia and bipolar and manic depression, which are additional diagnoses piled on top of the autistic one. Now, the autistic one they don't ever want to talk about, even though it's a part of the diagnosis. It's the overall diagnosis. It's the major diagnosis. They don't want to talk about that. And they really can't talk about schizophrenia, and they can't talk about fucking manic depression, so they focus on this thing that you're speaking too fast. I'm speaking too fast? What the fuck? How does that relate to anything? So now you want to put me on motherfucking goddamn Halidol or fucking goddamn lithium because I'm speaking too fast? What the fuck does that even mean? I'm not having a delusion. I'm not stuck. Like, okay, the last time I went to the hospital and I saw a friend of mine and she was like, oh, they got you on medication. I'm not gonna mention the friend's name. He's like, why? And I was like, oh, well, they convinced me that the medication, because I couldn't get out of the hospital unless I took the medication. I didn't see anything crazy about you. I've been talking, I don't see nothing crazy about you now, and I don't see nothing crazy about you before they committed you. Why are you crazy now? That's what I'm saying. It's like if layman people can see you're not crazy, Because that's what 5150 is. 5150 is when you're so crazy that you become a threat to yourself or others. Talking too fast is not a threat to me or anybody else. So generally they hold me beyond a 72-hour period. They always hold me beyond a 72-hour period to like 14 days or whatever the fuck it is, with no real fucking reason for why they keep me. Even the staff is like, why are you still here? I don't know. They won't. The doctor won't sign off. I'm not in a delusional state. Now, I've had delusions. Don't get me fucked up. I've been there. I've been crazy. I've had fucking... And those delusions are not based upon the way I'm thinking right now. Those delusions are based upon denying the way I'm thinking right now. Which is what their system wants me to do. Deny the way I'm thinking right now. So, fuck you and whatever the fuck you think about my mental state. My mental state is what my mental state is. Most of y'all motherfuckers are really mentally ill. I mean, true definition of mental illness. Like this country is motherfucking the real true definition of mental illness. The Obama fucking goddamn administration, both terms, and the way that the majority of this country react, there is nobody in this country really who can determine who is mentally ill or who is not mentally ill, because this motherfucking country has a fucking skewed view of what is mentally ill or mentally fucking mentally healthy. You can't have a social standard of mental health in a society of mental illness, in which white supremacy. And I was watching that shit too about old girl bringing to the fucking light that a particular member of fucking of Trump's administration had ties to white supremacy. Ties to white supremacy. He's not a white supremacist. And how the fucking I can't remember what his name is. The fucking interviewer was like, "So you're saying he's a white supremacist?"
Like, I don't have enough information.
I don't have, right.
But I know he has ties to white supremacy. I'll say that.
He has ties to white supremacy. Now, the funny thing about it is, this whole entire fucking country is white supremacist. It is systematically a white supremacist society. And you are, and the majority of white folks and a large majority of black folks are under the parataxic distortion that it's not. And we maintain that parataxic distortion by dissonance, cognitive dissonance.
Are you ready to go?
Yeah, basically. So by this cognitive dissonance, we have missed the reality that this motherfucking entire country was built on white supremacy and still maintains white supremacy in a liberal, moderate, and fucking goddamn conservative manifestation of such. There is no such thing as a America that does not practice white supremacy. America's bread and butter is white supremacy. Fuck that bullshit. It's systematically geared to function and to support under white supremacy. All right, let's get out of this.